Hello, my name is Grace and I'll be discussing the barriers our current healthcare system is facing when trying to meet the holistic needs of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.
Hi, I'm Casey and I'll be discussing the second topic, the strengths of Aboriginal community controlled health services, specifically in their response to holistic health needs, as per the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander definition of health.
I'm Isaac and I'll be doing the third topic, and that's the interdisciplinary collaboration of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health workers and regional nurses.
Hi, my name is Maninder. I will be doing topic 5. It's about why Aboriginal people discharge themselves even without completing treatment and what are the strategies to reduce it.
In reflection to the National Aboriginal Community Controlled Health Organisation's definition of health, it refers to not only the physical well-being of each individual, but more importantly the social, emotional and cultural well-being of the individual's community. This approach holistically involves body, mind, spirit, land, environment, socio-economic status and custom. The foreseen goal of this approach to holistic care is when the community's well-being is thriving, each individual thrives too. Primary healthcare services is what our current mainstream health system is endeavouring to provide to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities in an attempt to break down healthcare barriers. Although successful with programs like Aboriginal community controlled health services, there are still some barriers that the healthcare system is yet to fully overcome. Firstly, I'm saddened to say that in today's modern world, there is still a barrier of cultural understanding within healthcare in Australia. Despite institutional efforts to educate health professionals in culturally safe nursing practices, it is still a challenge to provide culturally competent care to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander population. To provide this holistic or patient-centred care, professionals must first acknowledge a cultural difference than the usual standard of care and be prepared to adjust their treatment or plan of care for that individual's personal and healthcare needs in accordance to their culture. Respect of individuals' values and beliefs and continuing professional development for both culturally and medically safe practice is outlined in the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia's Standards of Practice and Code of Ethics, which needs to be adhered to keep your professional registration with the Australian government each year. Secondly, although Australia is a developed country and socio-economically well off with large cities and built up suburbs and areas, it is subject to remote communities. This can result in being hours or days away from townships or communities with acceptable healthcare facilities. Although there are initiatives in place to assist Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders' health, the Australian government should prioritise further developing the healthcare facilities in remote Australia to decrease Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander mortality rates to remoteness and culturally safe nursing practices. In conclusion, the training staff in culturally safe nursing practices and closing the gap of remote access to healthcare will positively meet the holistic healthcare needs of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Thank you.
Aboriginal community controlled health services first emerged in 1971 in Redfern, Sydney, in response to appalling Aboriginal health statistics and the government's promised policies of self-determination and self-management. Aboriginal controlled health services are a primary healthcare service which is operated and run by the local Aboriginal community to deliver holistic, comprehensive and culturally appropriate healthcare to the community which controls it. Aboriginal community controlled health services are essential to the definition of Aboriginal holistic health, as it allows the Aboriginal community to self-determine their own protocols and procedures when it comes to the delivery of their healthcare. These services provide a holistic alternative from the community sector, which advocates for the culturally respectful needs of Aboriginal health outcomes. Holistic care to Aboriginal people is a multi-dimensional concept that embraces all aspects of living within a community and stresses the importance of survival in harmony with the environment. Aboriginal views on healthcare is not just the physical well-being of the individual, but the social, emotional and cultural well-being of the community. A whole life view, which also includes the concept of life and death and a heavy emphasis on family and spiritual aspects. Aboriginal controlled healthcare models keep with this philosophy of the holistic view of health. NACO is the national peak body representing Aboriginal controlled health services and has been around since 1971. According to NACO, there are currently 143 Aboriginal community controlled health services in urban, regional and remote Australia. These facilities range from large multi-function services to small services which rely on Aboriginal healthcare workers to provide the bulk of primary care. These services are autonomous and independent from one another and of the government. Aboriginal community-controlled health services are vital in providing care to all Aboriginal Australians, even those in very remote areas of the country. Aboriginal community-controlled health services provide about 3 million episodes of care to about 3,500 people in the years 2015 to 16. NACO reports that Aboriginal community-controlled health services are 23% better at attracting and retaining Aboriginal clients than mainstream providers. It also reports that in a 24-month period, the total number of clients using these services rose by 8%. This has been attained through local engagement and the culturally safe services they provide. These services are essential as they provide access to primary healthcare to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander populations throughout Australia. These services include empowering Indigenous Australians to determine their own primary healthcare and to develop and manage their own healthcare services. As NACO states, that the greatest advances in closing the gap will be made when Aboriginal people have the genuine control over their lives and over the design and delivery of their healthcare services, which is exactly what these Aboriginal controlled community services strive for.
Periods of illness are a stressful time for patients as well as their families. Patients are not at their best when they're sick, causing even the best of plans to fall through as judgment is impaired. Patients need someone who will look out for their best interests and assist them in navigating the healthcare system. This is the role of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health worker. According to the NPSF Institute for Healthcare Improvement and the Aboriginal Health Council of South Australia, utilising a patient advocate involves aiding clarifying options for hospitals, doctors, procedures and treatment options, and assuring that the patient's wishes are carried out when they may not be able to do so independently. They play a vital role in the primary healthcare workforce, providing clinical and primary care for individuals, families and community groups, and are crucial to improving health outcomes of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. According to the Australian Department of Health, although Indigenous people make up 2.4% of the population, Indigenous people employed in health-related occupations represent only 0.9% of the total health workforce. These are the strengths that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health workers bring to the interdisciplinary team, providing a competent workforce familiar with the physical, social, emotional and cultural needs of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, and ensuring that the health system has the capacity to provide these services in a culturally safe and accessible manner. This collaborative work within multidisciplinary healthcare teams, according to the New South Wales Ministry of Health, plays a key role in achieving better health outcomes for Indigenous communities and facilitating relationships between Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander patients and other health professionals. Thank you.
Australians are more likely to discharge themselves even without completing the treatment than non-Aboriginal Australians. It is 6 times the rate of non-Aboriginal Australians. Increased ratio of trauma is associated with significant issues in the responsiveness of hospitals to the needs and perception of Aboriginal patients, which results in readmission, disruption of treatment and raised health costs. The factors associated with trauma are institutional racism. Because of past social and political disparities, Aboriginal patients have lost their trust in health system. Therefore, avoid situation in the likelihood of repeated exposure to racism. The second one is cultural barriers. Difference in language, faith, belief and understanding and interpretation of situations make Indigenous people less willing to use the healthcare settings. Third one is family and social obligations. Financial responsibilities towards children and partner encourages them to self-discharge, especially if they are a sole earner.
Also, the loneliness and communication barriers plays an important role. Aboriginal patients felt lonely in the Aboriginal beds, and because the Aboriginal staff is unable to speak local languages. The other factors which are associated with DAMA are gender and age, mental and behavior disorders, and dependence on illicit drugs. Healthcare strategy that will improve the incidence of DAMA is to provide culturally safe practice, which is possible through the recruitment and retention of Aboriginal health workers, and also by providing culture awareness training to non-Indigenous staff. Aboriginal health workers and liaison officers assist Aboriginal patients to communicate with healthcare settings and also assist non-Aboriginal staff to understand the needs of Aboriginal patients. Thus, hospital environment free from avoidance relationship enhance Aboriginal patients' well-being and encourages them to wait till the end of the treatment. Self-discharge can be reduced by engaging patients in planning, delivery, evaluation, and decision-making. This collaboration can be challenging because of the presence of cultural differences. Therefore, to overcome this problem, non-Indigenous staff should be given culture-competent training. To conclude it, identification of risk factors and interventions for reducing DAMA will not only benefit individual people but also reduce the health system cost, and because it's related to readmission and disruption of treatment. This will also reduce mortality rates among Aboriginals. However, routine evaluations of Indigenous people experiences in healthcare settings, experimenting in interesting programs, and replacing with the interesting one is essential for gaining the trust of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Thank you.
We'd like to thank the local board of directors and CEO for taking the time to listen to our presentation. Thank you.